The Yankees trading for Pineda and getting Campos, who that's all you hear is everyone you talk to with the Yankees stressing how Campos is a big part of this. He's going to, he's a guy who's got a great arm. He's going to be a big pitcher and stuff. And remember, he's a long way away. I mean, that goes without saying. But clearly, with Pineda, they get a pitcher who, they expect good things. They expect him to be able to, give him a lot of innings, pitch well. I know people were upset about a couple of things last year. Didn't like him on the road, didn't like him after the break, stuff like that. Bottom line is the guy threw 171 innings. He gave up 133 hits. You like that. Okay? You like the fact he doesn't walk a lot of people. He walked 55 people. You like that. Okay? You can work with the rest. His whip is 1.09. He's definitely a guy you can work with. And the Yankees have decided, he's obviously a big kid, as we know, a very big kid, as we know. And, the Yankees have you talk about if they want to have 2/5 of a football team, they definitely have that with these guys in their starting rotation. And clearly Campos is a big part of this. If you're looking down the road, you've heard all this stuff. Hey, basically the Yankees have told anyone who will listen that Campos is a very big part of the deal because they feel very strongly about him being a major, Jose Vicente Campos being a very big part of it as a power, right-handed pitcher. So, we'll see how that works out. And, trying to stockpile that. Noesi is a guy the Yankees had plans for. They thought he had a chance this year to do something. So there was talk that they wanted in this trade. For a long time, they wanted Montero and Nova. They held out for a long time for Montero and Nova. They finally decided on Montero and Noesi. A lot of times after a deal's made, you hear people telling you, well, really we made Montero look good, or, we made sure he hit the right type of guys. And no, I didn't hear any of that from the Yankees at all. Nothing. Okay, none of the stuff like that, that they don't still think he's going to be. Now, there's a big question about his. A couple things about the Yankees. Number one, they have a lot of catching still in the pipeline. Number two, the question of where Montero plays is a very big issue. The Yankees don't have room for him at DH. That's going to be A-Rod's province for the next, they got A-Rod on the contract for big money for a long time. Eventually, that's going to be his deal. Plus, you got to get Jeter some time there, give the Sheriff some time there. Plus, they have to share at first base, and they don't have anybody to play. And Montero's clear positions are going to be D. If he fails as a catcher, and we don't know yet if I'm Seattle, I give him a big chance to win a job as a catcher. But if he doesn't, and he winds up being who he's been compared to, Victor Martinez, who amazingly could be out for the whole season this year, if you just heard. Has a knee injury, he could be out for the whole season. If he winds up being a Victor Martinez-type offensive player and he needs another position, well, the Yankees don't have room for him at DH or first base. And the Yankees have other catches. They have Gary Sanchez down in the pipeline, who they liked more than Montero. This is while they still had Montero. They have Romine, who they feel can be a very good defensive catcher and a guy who can show enough of a bat. Stick has always been very high on Romine. So the Yankees went out and looked to improve their pitching both now and in the future. And one thing that'll come in and you'll start to hear more and more and more about, and that is the way baseball restructured itself here. It really now has put in a system that in the years to come, starting with 2014, but moving dramatically towards 16, will make it very, very difficult, if not penal, on the teams who are over the threshold. Because you will be getting hit at a 50% rate, but you also will be losing that major league disqualification money, which is a big chunk of money, which could turn, say, a $15 million over the limit into like $70 million. So there's going to be tremendous penalties if you're over. And that means teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox are going to be brought back to the pack. And if they have good records, and that limits the number of international and draft picks they get both nationally and internationally, because of the based on wins and losses, you'll see that it's going to be harder and harder for them to find pitching. And if the payroll is such that they get penalized, where you're going to go, if you're going to count everything, soup to nuts, not just salary, but everything that goes with salary, and that number, say, goes to like 190 or something like that, above that, 189, 190, okay? That means you can't be above that number. If you're above that number, it's going to take you're going to take such a hit that now you have to find other ways to start to develop this pitching, and the moves the Yankees are going to be making and Cashman's going to be making in the years are going to impact that. You're going to see them look for ways to stockpile these young pitchers. Keep the ones they have and look for other people, like a Campos, who is a very big part of this. So using your chips for that, because it's going to be harder for them, and it may be that we're moving into an era where the Yankees and Red Sox don't have such a huge advantage because of the threshold that's been put in that makes it almost a much harder cap. I've heard a lot of people say that the deal that was negotiated would never have been negotiated under Fiorinosa because it really is a lot more of a hard cap in practice than baseball has had in the past. And that will keep teams from spending. So that's something to look forward to, is how, look to as the Yankees move forward, how they go about doing their business. They're going to find that it's a little harder to do it, to keep doing it the way they've been doing it in the new system because the penalties are outrageous. And you're talking about even 10 or 15 over being dramatic in terms of what it means in real dollars.